What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. You know, Clash is back. It is the most effective, fully dosed pre-workout ever created. And it was around for a while, and it was crushing it. But I always had this theory that every 2 to 3 years, you got to revamp a product, or else it kind of loses its product life cycle. I was wrong. So what happened was we had Clash, and then I did a special collaboration with a manufacturing facility. We created the perfect pre-workout, which was very similar to Clash. It was called Sniper. And Sniper did pretty well, but people were still like, where's Clash? So I was like, if we keep Clash, it's too close to Sniper, too close. So I came out with something called Clash 3D, which is a whole new approach to pre-workout. It's a great pre-workout. People were like, dude, I still want Clash. I love Clash. So in this reorganization, in this realigning of the brand, we brought back what the people want. The people want Clash. Now, here is Clash. It has 2 awesome flavors, rainbow sherbet and grape. Now, I'm not going to make or break my choice on taste, but I'll tell you what, after not having it for a while and now taking a pre-workout, I'm like, holy heck, this is the most amazing tasting pre-workout. The grape is great. I'm a big fan of the rainbow sherbet, but I know you want to know, you call this a fully loaded pre-workout. What exactly is in it? And I'll go through it. It's available on TigerFitness.com right now. Coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA gets you 10% off. So let's go into the ingredients. Citrulline, we put 6 grams. So if you look, some pre-workouts put 10, some put 9, some put 4. I find 6 grams to be the sweet spot because we also added something else. And instead of redundancy, we got synergy when we made this formula. If I put 10 grams of citrulline, all right, I got 10 grams. Why do I need anything else? But I'm like, what if we could add something else that has its own properties, its own benefits, that also help with that pump, that blood flow, that anabolic action in the body? And I'm like, no, all right. So we did that. Then creatine. You know, I used to be a guy, creatine, you only need 5 grams a day. I'm taking 20 grams a day now. There's new data that shows that taking 25 to 30 grams will basically negate the effects of lack of sleep deprivation. Then you got the mental cognitive effects of creatine. So we put 5 grams in here. Why? Why not? I like creatine pre-workout. I like it post-workout. There is definitely a benefit to taking it pre and post-workout and throughout the day. So yes, we're putting creatine in here, 5 total grams. Beta-Alanine. So, you know, for some people, the first 2 weeks, it's called paresthesis, gives you a little bit of tingle. Some people even think it's a stimulant. It's not. It is something that helps your body buffer lactic acid. And we put a whopping full 3.2 grams of beta-alanine in this bad boy. That's the max you can go without having to scratch your face off from the paresthesis. But you're going to get all those beautiful benefits. Beta-alanine is amazing. Beta-alanine is another thing. You could take it another time throughout the day. Anywhere from 3 to 10, 12 grams of beta-alanine has benefits. So if you have some bulk beta-alanine, add that in later in the day as well. Agmatine Sulfate. Remember I was telling you about, well, citrulline. All right, what does it do? Blood flow, pump, think nitric oxide. Agmatine, similar thing, slightly different action. So we put a full dose. We put 1.5 grams in there. So you get a great dose of citrulline, full dose of agmatines, skin splitting pumps, baby. Let's friggin' go. L-Tyrosine, 1.5 grams. That's a great dose. When you add L-Tyrosine to caffeine and other nootropics, it just has this super effect. In fact, one of the first times I knew about this, Lyle McDonald wrote an article for Flex Magazine back when I worked at Weider. This is in the early 2000s. About stacking tyrosine with caffeine. Since then, I've been in love. There's other versions, N-acetyltyrosine, but I found that just going to the old school L-Tyrosine, every time I take it, I get that mental effect. It turns that caffeine energy into less like, and more like, all right, I'm going to crush this set. That's what L-Tyrosine does. VitaCholine. So we had this addition to Clash. I'm really excited about this one. Choline by tartrate. Now, I started formulating with this back in the early 2000s. VitaCholine is the trademarked version with all the studies. Choline, again, working in synergy with tyrosine, with other mental ingredients. Even creatine has those cognitive ingredients in there. So VitaCholine is a great addition, one that will help you just focus in, laser focus on your workout. And we didn't just use any choline, we use VitaCholine. Caffeine, there's more to this. We only put 250 milligrams. Some pre-workouts put more, but we don't want this to be just stim. We don't want your heart to explode. We want you to focus. We don't want you getting jitters. 250 is the best, but you might be, well, what if that's not enough energy? We got that covered because we got enough stimulation to last you throughout the workout. So caffeine's in there. Theobromine, extract from chocolate. You see this in fat burners. You see this in a lot of applications. I love theobromine. I've seen it in hydration formulas. Theobromine is one of those things when it comes to fat loss, cognitive effects. I love it. We put a great 100 milligram dose in here. It's good to go. The final addition is something called Infinergy. It's dicaffeine malate. Why would I put another version of caffeine? Well, my bros, sustained release. So you got your initial burst from the caffeine anhydrous, from the pure caffeine. Dicaffeine malate is caffeine and malic acid. What that does is the energy release. So you got the immediate caffeine spike, right? So it looks like this, boom, kind of tapers off. Got a 4-hour half-life. And it's going to taper off as your workout goes along. That's why sometimes you just jack and die during a workout. You're like, where'd my stimulation go? Not with Clash. With Clash, you get that spike and then the dicaffeine kicks in. Last you throughout your workout. Man, I'm so excited to have this back. Clash is back. Clash is back, baby. At tigerfitness.com. That's right. Go there now, buy it. It's great. And if you're an old head who loves your Clash, it's back, baby. Anyway, go to tigerfitness.com, buy this product, like this video, subscribe to this channel, click on notification bell because bringing back the greatest fully loaded pre-workout of all time, man. You know, that's not a